Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our next session as part of Outlook Business Advantage India Chemical Summit. I have with me Maulik Patel from Meghmani Organics, one of the fledgling companies in this sector, which has also shown stupendous growth over the last few years. And I have with me also Dr. Hardik Joshipura, who will co-moderate this session. So, Mr. Maulik, thank you so much for joining us on this session. First of all, can you take us through your growth journey over the last few years? What have been the key drivers of your growth in the last 4 or 5 years? And how do you see the future shaping up?
Okay, let me start with a journey of Meghmani because in 1997, my father started this company. So we are the second generation of this group. And in 1977, started with a small dice manufacturing company. He was a farmer's son and entered into the small dice. And then over the period of time, we have grown into the dice segment. And in 1987, we started with the small pigment manufacturing, which is also that time the only Clariant company was in manufacturing pigments in India. So that time we are the second company to start pigment manufacturing in India in 1987. And in 1994, again, where family was growing, my uncles also joined the business along with my dad. And in 1994, we started and we decided to diversify business into the agrochemical business. So that's how we were into the pigment dyes and agrochemical business. And in 2007, when the second generation came into the picture, again, we decided that time our revenue mostly it is coming from the export oriented business. And in 2007, we also listed in India because we are the first company in 2001, we are listed in Singapore Stock Exchange. And in 2007, we listed in India. And that time we decided because our major focus was the export oriented revenue. So we decided to diversify our business into the domestic oriented business. And we came into the domestic business. And so we thought about the chloroalkali as a manufacturing complex in India. And we started with the IFC, International Finance Corporation, who was a 25% equity partner in India. And they joined and they supported us in terms of finance, in terms of loan. And we started a chloroalkali complex in the Hedge PCPI region in 2007 in the name of Meghmani Fine Chemical Limited, which is a subsidiary of Meghmani Organics Limited, which is listed in stock exchange.
Right.
So in last 10 years, we started a chloroalkali complex, and then we thought about how we can grow further in the chloroalkali business. So we thought about it, another option was geographically you can grow. You set up a plant in north, south, east, west, or you can go in the forward integration. So Meghmani normally is a chemical background. So our focus was to go an economy of scale size of business. Whatever molecule you set up, it is a global scale. So in the pigment, if you compare ourselves, with the phthalocyanine pigment business, which is globally currently we are manufacturing around 15% of the global phthalocyanine pigments, our capacity, which is based in India, which is the largest manufacturing capacity in the world. In agrochemical business, if you consider the synthetic pyrethroid, which is also a major agrochemical molecule, and where we are also manufacturing completely backward integrated along with their key raw material. So Meghmani is always focused on the backward and the forward integration. So as a chloroalkali complex in last 5 years, we decided to go for a forward integration because when you produce caustic soda, it also generates chlorine and hydrogen.
Right.
So we decided to go for a chlorine derivatives, which is a chloromethane, which is like a MDC, chloroform, which is a pharmaceutical solvents, and hydrogen peroxide, which is a major bleaching agent for textiles and for paper industries, and it is used as a raw material for many chemical intermediates. So in last 5 years, we decided to go for a forward integration, whatever we do it, and based on Indian consumption driven. And in coming 5 years, also our strategy is because the Indian economy is growing in a double digit. The people are moving from saving economy to the spending economy. So we also decided which are the molecules which is feasible for the Indian manufacturing. And a lot of automobile manufacturing is coming in India. And we decided to go for a epichlorohydrin project in next as a value proposition in our chloroalkali complex, which is the first time in India and which is completely imported right now. And we decided to set up a 50,000 tons of epichlorohydrin plant along with our caustic soda capacity expansion. So currently, we are the fourth largest chloroalkali complex in India. Along with the forward integration, our plan is to go for epichlorohydrin kind of molecule, which is first time in India. Another molecule which we have identified, which is a chlorinated polyvinyl chloride, which is also a growing segment. Like you must have heard about the Astral pipe, Ashirwad pipe,
Yeah.
which is also a raw material of that pipe, which is also not manufactured in India as of now, which is completely imported. So this two strategy in the forward integration of chloroalkyl complex, we are moving towards basic to specialty. And along with this, because our chloroalkali complex also grown in such a size that we have decided to demerge from our parent company and automatically going to be listed in the first quarter of the next financial year.
So in terms of revenue complexion, how much of your revenue right now comes from exports and how much is from domestic sales? And also in terms of agrochemicals versus pigments, how is the revenue composition?
Yeah, in agrochemical, we are expecting this financial year, we are planning to achieve probably we'll cross 1,000 crores. In pigments, we are planning to cross around 600 crores. And in chloroalkali complex, we are planning to cross around 850 crores. So closely, you can say in 2,500 crore revenue we are planning to achieve in this financial year. And the in next 2 years, next 3 years, we are planning to grow almost 30 to 35% CAGR, and we are planning to achieve 5,000 crore turnover in next by financial year 2024.
So Maulik, if I may add, a very interesting a kind of a product line which you talked about. When 2,500 crore of revenue comprises of how many major products? You talk about the chloroalkali, epichlorohydrin, but is there a subset of product group which comprises of this 2,500 crore? Or is it three major products?
See, 2,500 crore is right now what we are generating from our chloroalkali, chloromethane, hydrogen peroxide, agrochemicals, different molecules, and in the pigment industry, in the pigment, phthalocyanide pigments. But in the epichlorohydrin and the CPVC, we are going to commission by end of this financial year.
Okay, so you have the customer base already lined up for a couple of years. I mean, like in terms of the revenue for the next 3 to 5 years in the existing product group, would you be already, or would you be initiating some kind of a contracts with the existing customers for the continuous supply and the orders, or how would your order book would be, let's say, for these products for the next after 3 years?
See, if you see the epichlorohydrin is majorly used as a epoxy resin raw material. And in last 2-3 years, you must have seen that the automobile segment is growing in a double-digit growth in India.
Right.
So the epoxy resin is majorly used in automobiles and along with also as a construction chemicals also. And the infrastructure is growing in India. So the epichlorohydrin demand in India is growing in a double digit, and close to, I think, around 80,000 tons is imported currently in India. And there is no manufacturing in India. So we don't find any problem in terms of the customer. And the epoxy resin manufacture, many multinational companies like Kokdo Chemicals, which is a global giant in the epoxy resin, they have also identified as a next manufacturing hub in India, in the Dahej. So they are also under construction of setting up the epoxy resin plant. So in the future, probably all our customers are going to be in 200 kilometers of range of our plant, which is in Gujarat. So we don't find any major issue in terms of market in the epichlorohydrin. And the CPVC, it is also the same scenario we are expecting, because currently the India's demand is 130,000 tons, and it's majorly imported from outside. So and there is no manufacture, I think hardly manufacture around 10,000 tons in India. So we don't find any problem in selling 30,000 tons of CPVC resin in India.
Right. So you focus on the economy of scale and, really scale up your molecules to a really large scale. Just to understand a little bit on the fine chemical business of it, how would you differentiate your existing business in terms of strategy with the fine chemical business, which I believe is at an emerging state? Is this the right understanding, Maulik?
Yes, as you rightly said, the fine chemical business, see, as a Meghmani, we are all technocrats. Our first generation is also chemical engineers. The second generation also all are chemical engineers. So we focus on the economy of scale with, as we rightly said, whatever molecule we select, we don't depend on any KSM, any key raw material from China or any other countries. We prefer to manufacture in-house, and that is our strength. So we believe in the forward, in the coming 5 years also, we are selecting a molecule which is completely backward integrated, and it is a strength because currently in current scenario, most of the multinationals who are outsourcing their manufacturing, they prefer also the key raw material also manufactured by the same people. They do not prefer if you are importing from other part of the countries. So that is our strategy in coming 5 years also.
Excellent, Maulik. I think since you talked about a company with with the generation old, several generations working on it, just interested to know, what are which strategy worked well and why, and which strategy did not work well and why?
Okay, so for us, strategy is always whenever we are planning. See, many people when they plan their manufacturing, they don't plan backward integration or forward integration. They go step by step. So in our case, we planned our backward integration at the same time when we think about molecule. I think that is the key strength of Meghmani. You can say that.
Very true. Mahalakshmi?
Sure. Maulik, I want to take you back to 2007 and even now. There was a time when you decided that chloroalkali is the product, that category that you want to expand, like forward, backward, etc. Now, tell me, when you think about these unique opportunities and creating competitive advantage by being part of the entire chain, what kind of factors do you look at in terms of competition? Do you think about it in terms of whether you can be substantially more competitive compared to China, or do you think in terms of the domestic opportunity and how much of it you can take away by being a domestic player? What are the real factors? And today, as you expand, you have capacity expansions planned for the next 2-3 years. What kind of growth runway do you see based on which you have made these capex calls?
See, in terms of chloroalkali segments, our biggest strength is a location, because location, we are located in the Dahej PCPR region, which is the biggest chemical hub of India. And if you see, most of India has the highest logistic cost compared to other part of the world. So if you're not located in the right place, that is also a big disadvantage to, in your manufacturing side. So as a chloroalkali complex, all our customers are within the 500 kilometer range maximum. So that is our biggest strength in terms of competitiveness. Okay, in terms of the port availability, the port is also, the Dahej is strategically located where the port is only 5 kilometers away from your site. So we are completely backward integrated in terms of chloroalkali, where we have a coal-based power plant of 132 megawatt, and that is coal is coming from 5 kilometers away from our site. And another major raw material for chloroalkali is a salt, which is also a seashore available in 5 kilometers to 10 kilometers range. So that is our biggest strength to compete in a global scale also.
Sure. And in terms of competitiveness per se, do you do benchmarking against rest of the players, and especially with that in your product lines, are they as competitive as Chinese players, and or you're evaluating everything from a global competitiveness perspective?
Yes. See, global competitiveness, definitely it works, but as in terms of in terms of energy, India is on the little higher side. So completely, right, you need to plan, like in the Western world, people are not having a captive power plant along with their caustic soda plant. But in India, when you are planning for a caustic soda plant, you have to have a backward integration. Without backward integration, you cannot survive in India. But in terms of Western world, they have a high capex compared to if you want to set up a caustic soda plant. And in India, the capex is very lower in terms of, because of the manufacturing is available locally, majority of the equipments. So that's an advantage India has and some disadvantage. But overall point of view, as a country, India is growing and every business is growing and at a double digit growth. So every chemicals is growing, like agrochemicals, pharmaceutical, intermediate. The government announced the income tax benefit for the new companies manufacturing. If you start around 15%, earlier was 25, 35%. So, and the PLI scheme, government has reduced against China or any other countries where we are heavily dependent on KSM, key ingredient. We are dependent on in agrochemicals or in pharmaceuticals, we are dependent on the China and other countries. So this all will definitely, we are seeing right now, a lot of construction is going on in the Dahej region. A lot of new players are coming. So land in the PCPR, Dahej region, there is no land available right now if you want to buy. So, everything is occupied and people are constructing and growing like anything. So we feel that over the period of time, we are also growing and this chemical will consume by these peers, pharmaceutical and the pharmaceutical intermediates. So we don't find such kind of problem in coming times because India is growing in double digit and we are moving from saving to spending economy as we rightly said.
And you mentioned PLI. I mean, are there any opportunities for you? I mean, which product segments are you able to leverage the PLI?
In PLI scheme, definitely the government currently has announced only in the pharmaceutical. There are no other announcement, but we heard that the people
are saying in specialty also they're going to extend,
but there is no announcement so far. So we hope, we all are waiting, and I think they have taken us all industrial or all industries associations feedback regarding the PLI. They wanted to extend, but that is an excellent policy is launched by the government very logically, because every manufacturing quantity they have identified how much import India requires, and based on that they are going to give a subsidy, not based on the investment. And the government wants that the one single big manufacturer came and take that advantage so they can compete in a global scale. So that is also I think it is a wonderful idea by government of India, and probably definitely the lot of manufacturing will come because of that PLI scheme, as well as the income tax is reduced to 15% for the new company.
Sure. So Maulik, you have these three businesses, and structurally, how do you see these businesses going forward with the kind of growth rates that you are talking about, 30-35%, etc.? Will these remain under one roof, or is there a possibility of demerging them and spin-offs and stuff like that, which can unlock value?
Yeah, see, as I explained that, Meghmani Finechem Limited, which is chloroalkali, and we are doing a forward integration into specialty. We are moving to the specialty. That segment we are going to demerge. We have announced already last year, and by first quarter of next financial year, we are going to demerge automatically in BSc and NSC. And that we wanted to unlock the values because we believe that over the period of time, if you want to grow in the business, the power of equity is very required. If you want to grow in a shorter time, you cannot grow only by taking a debt from the bank. So if you want to go on a faster pace, so that unlocking the value of your company is required. And this is a first step. We are doing it by first quarter of next financial year.
I was kind of interested to know, Maulik, that when you look at the future growth levers of Meghmani as a company, as a group, would you also be looking at expanding your base from India to maybe outside, maybe in Europe or US? Or do you see a need? Because I think in order for you to set up the base there, you also have to carefully handpick the right products in the portfolio to cater to that market. So is there a broader view on that from the strategy?
Yeah, Hardik, it's a very good question. So the currently in the Meghmani, we have identified a roadmap for till 2024 financial. Okay. That is our target to reach 5,000 crore. So once we reach that target, our plan is to go by acquisitions and mergers, because, by setting up a plant greenfield project, you cannot grow multifold.
Right.
So definitely we are going to be open once we cross the 5,000 crore mark, and we are planning to, for other opportunities which are available in the market, globally as well as within India.
Right. So Maulik, if you have to really think for the future, or maybe let me rephrase this to say that if you were to give an advice to an entrepreneur who would like to set up the chemical companies in India, which would probably in 2 years, 3 years down the line, what challenges and opportunities do you anticipate, for an individual to set up companies like yours, let's say Meghmani 2.0?
Okay, so the first advantage is, there is, it's a huge opportunities available in India. So there are obstacles in India. So, but don't look at it in terms of other countries. We are far better off. So normally the people and manufacturers, we are always criticizing our government and the manufacturing, but the availability and the scope in Indian population is growing. The growth is happening. So opportunities among us, so there is no look at it back. You just jump in, don't think too much. The opportunity, if you have a manufacturing base, definitely you will get success if you have, in coming time. So don't look at it back, just to enter in the manufacturing line. It is a huge, there are untapped opportunities available in a huge way in coming years. Still, we are finding it, how we can increase our manpower strength and how we can do multiple projects at the same time. We are keep evaluating that, because, every organization has a limited scope in terms of manpower and execution of the project. So we feel that still opportunity is there in the market and we are not encashing it. So I think for all manufacturer, chemical industry has a huge scope in coming time in India.
Right.
Sure, that is all from me. And it's only passion, confidence, and optimism like yours that keeps our country growing. So more power to you and your team, Maulik. Thank you so much for this discussion today.
Thank
you, Mahalakshmi. Thank you, Hardik. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me opportunity. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Not at all. Thanks.